Good evening and welcome back to Golden Eagles Sports Report. TJ, the men's basketball team is lighting up the Al McGuire Center.
Caroline, you said it, and the Marquette volleyball team is gearing up for their biggest game of the season. Get ready, Marquette Nation, because Golden Eagles Sports Report starts right now.
Slam dunk! Oh, that's a poster. From the Jeannie Hayes Virtual Studio at Marquette University, this is Golden Eagles Sports Report. Marquette gets the rebound, and the champions have gone down.
Hello everyone, I'm Caroline Bennett alongside TJ Dysart. We start tonight with an update to the women's basketball roster.
Azanique Mayo is transferring out of the women's basketball program.
Yeah, head coach Megan Duffy released a statement Saturday stating that Mayo's entering the NCAA transfer portal. The Marquette Wire was the first to report.
Mayo, who is a first year, joined Marquette's program this summer and did not register any playing time for the Golden Eagles this season.
Mayo's coming off a standout senior season at Notre Dame Catholic High School, in which she averaged 28 points, 7 assists, 7 rebounds, and 5 steals per game. That impressive stat line led to Mayo being crowned Max Prep's Connecticut High School's Player of the Year. With Mayo's transfer, the Golden Eagles have just 6 guards on the roster with multiple scholarship spots available. I might just be trying out. In just about 25 minutes, the men's basketball team will tip off in West Lafayette, Indiana. The Golden Eagles are opening up their road leg of the season at Purdue in another edition of the Gavitt Tip-Off Games. The Golden Eagles are coming off a 67-66 upset over the Illinois in the last year's matchup of the Gavitt Games. The Al McGuire Center is loud and packed to the brim when the Central Michigan Chippewas take on the Marquette Golden Eagles.
Marquette gets hot early with Oso Ighodaro taking a nice layup, and first-year guard Chase Ross puts a Chippewa on a poster.
The Golden Eagles are relentless and don't hold back as David Joplin lets it rip from beyond the arch.
The Chippewas struggle to consistently get buckets and quickly fall behind the Golden Eagles' lead.
After a strong first half, teams head to their locker rooms. Marquette leads 47-29 over Central Michigan.
But Marquette doesn't look back and keeps stacking up the score as first-year forward Ben Gold gets violent at the rim.
The Chippewas fail to keep up and end up getting dropped by the Golden Eagles, 97-73.
This win makes Marquette 2-0 on the year, and this was a student-only game at the Allen. The seats were painted white with fans. The crowd was loud, proud, and crucial to this Golden Eagle victory.
Really excited about, first of all, just the opportunity to play in front of our students in this unbelievable atmosphere. It's a rare game for us. Playing here at the Al, and the way the students came and supported us, the atmosphere, it was a lot of fun. It was really unlike any college game that I've been a part of in a while. Great energy in there. I thought our guys fed off the energy really, really well.
First years showed out last Thursday. Both Chase Ross and Ben Gold had big games that will go a long way for their development going forward.
Yeah, I thought for Ben and for all of our freshmen, tonight was a really, really valuable experience because you can practice as many days as you want to practice, but getting out in a real game with your teammates and impacting the team in a positive way on both ends of the floor, like those guys did, I thought was significant. No pun intended, but this experience for a freshman is.
Even after a big Golden Eagle victory, Coach Smart emphasizes the importance of defensive consistency.
We've got to continue to get better and more sound on the defensive end. I thought our guys did a lot of good things defensively in the Radford game and tonight, but not consistent enough. And we're going to have to be more sound, a little bit tough.
Back before the game, I said I can just feel it, just the energy, the atmosphere, and I just wanted to come in and attack last game. I did all right, in some areas, but offensively I wasn't who I am. So I just had a meeting with Coach before, and he told me just be yourself, be aggressive with that swagger, and just come out and be aggressive. So that was my goal.
And after an impressive victory for the Golden Eagles, we would like to welcome in men's basketball beat reporter John Leuzzi to break down the start of the men's season. So right off the bat, John, what were your key takeaways from the Owl? I mean, how did they bounce back after that kind of sloppy win against Radford?
The Golden Eagles bounced back in many ways. I think for me specifically, TJ, they just played better defensively. And this Marquette team, as we saw last year in head coach Smart's first year, defense will lead to their offense. Their defense is their identity of this team. So they played a lot better defensively. They were able to get away and got rid of some of the easy baskets they let up on the defensive end, but they also just were able to allow the first years take over on the scoring margin. We saw 22 combined points from Ben Gold and Chase Ross. Both really looked good on the floor. But also the last thing I'll just mention is Marquette was able to score on extended runs without Oso Ighodaro. And if everybody remembers, Oso led the team in Monday's opening with 19, and Marquette was able to score a little bit more on Thursday night without him on the floor.
Yeah, sure, absolutely. And I'm sure that's something Coach Smart emphasizes when you're kind of starters and big guys are down, the 100%. Other guys got to step up. And as Caroline mentioned earlier, this was a student-only game. So how much do you think that had an effect on the game itself?
I think it had a huge effect. And I think this was a game that when everybody found out it was going to be at the Owl, it was hyped up a lot. It was a whiteout. There was a carnival before the game, and you're seeing a little bit on the film right now. It was a rowdy environment, and I was on the court side broadcasting for MUR, and I couldn't even hear myself on the radio because of how loud the fans were inside that arena. But the thing also, just to mention, we go to a little bit of stats here. Over the last 3 years, Marquette at home is 33-13. So you have to think a little bit of that student section plays in. That's also ranking just second in the Big East behind UConn.
Yeah, 100%. And David Joplin shot 6 of 10 from the three-point line and made his name as a sharpshooter. Now, how can this type of shooting help the Golden Eagles?
It can help them a lot, TJ. I think it just adds another sharpshooter, like you mentioned, and another scoring option for the Golden Eagles. Last year, Joplin came in with a lot of expectation, the hometown kid, maybe a little pressure on his shoulder. But this year, we're just seeing a little bit more of a comfortable David Joplin. On Thursday night in that game, it looked like the David Joplin at Brookfield Central. I mean, that's where he went to high school in the local area, able to shoot from the three. If you're able to get the three going from Joplin, it might take a little bit pressure off of Tyler Kolak to shoot the three, which could be big for Marquette as well. But like we say all season, Coach Smart said Joplin will be on the floor as good as his defense is. So let's see his defense leads to his offense.
100%. You certainly love to see those young players grow and develop throughout the year.
Absolutely.
Now, as we mentioned, Marquette about 20 minutes from tip-off against Purdue. Now, what do they got to improve going forward into this game tonight?
I think the big thing is see how Marquette handles Zach Edey. 7'4" forward. I'll just say it again, 7'4". There's no one taller on the floor tonight in West Lafayette than Zach Edey, the big man for the Boilermakers. So for Marquette, if they're going to be able to go with the pick and rolls with Tyler Kolak and Oso Ighodaro, play that well, leading to their offense, they could find some success because Edey is not that mobile of a man because of his height. So if Marquette can get that going, get the transition buckets also, that could be big because Marquette, according to the Ken Pom rankings, they're 11th in the country in fast tempo. So if they can get something going offensively, they could pull out a big win on the road against these Boilermakers.
Yeah, absolutely. And Marquette Nation will have to tune in just to find out. Thanks so much for joining us today, John. But we are out of time. Coming up, who is taking control of the 414? Find out after the break.
Patriotism. It inspires passionate debate. It's worn like a badge of honor with good reason, because it means love and devotion for one's country. But what really makes up this country of ours? It's the people. To love America is to love all Americans. This year, patriotism shouldn't just be about pride of country. It should be about love. Love beyond age, sexuality, disability, race, religion, and other labels. Because love has no labels.
Sometimes the things we do or say can make others feel hurt, excluded, or isolated. Everything you say and do creates an impact.
How am I supposed to save the whole world?
You can't think about saving the world. You have to think about saving one person.
Because of you, someone's entire life can change. You don't have to be a superhero to have a positive impact.
Friends?
Friends.
Welcome back to Golden Eagles Sports Report. Once again, I'm Caroline Bennett.
And I'm TJ Dysart. Well, Caroline, after busting out the brooms on Saturday with a clean sweep over Providence, Marquette volleyball looks to the University of Connecticut Huskies.
Tied at 3 apiece, junior outside hitter Audrey Hamilton slams down a kill to pull away from the Huskies.
The Golden Eagles fly away from the Huskies, and sophomore middle hitter Hattie Bray puts the finishing touch on the first set.
After falling behind early in the second set, the Golden Eagles put up a wall to stop the Huskies.
And sophomore setter Yadira Enchante gets into the action with her very own kill.
After another long run, Jenna Reitzma stuffs the Huskies to move into the third set, up 2-0.
Now remember, this is Marquette volleyball, so solid defense is the foundation for Murray's kill. Marquette falls behind 14-11, but they circle back to put the finishing touch on another clean sweep.
Following a successful weekend, Murray is named the Big East Offensive Player of the Week after hitting .549 over the weekend.
And senior libero Carly Skrawback also adds weekly honors after being added to the weekly Big East honor roll. The Marquette women's basketball team hopes to keep their undefeated standing against Holy Cross.
In the first quarter, the Golden Eagles soared to a 12-4 lead, anchored by junior forward Liza Carlin's first 6 points.
But Holy Cross keeps their faith, pushing back with a 10-3 run of their own to close the gap 15-14 by the end of the first quarter.
In the second quarter, Carlin puts pressure on Holy Cross with a quick 4-point run.
Now both teams go on runs of their own to close out the first half, with Marquette leading by 1.
Coach Duffy must have lifted their spirits coming out of the half, because Marquette completely turns the tables.
The Golden Eagles take the lead in the third quarter, 42-33, with about 5 minutes left.
They end the quarter on a 10-6 run, 52-39, with help from senior guard Nia Clark and Carlin.
And the pressure doesn't stop there, as first-year guard Mackenzie Hare lights the arena up with 4 3-pointers across the fourth quarter. Wow, very impressive stuff.
Yeah, the Golden Eagles turn on cruise control, taking the victory 75-55. The Golden Eagles hope to take control of the 4-1-4 in their gritty crosstown matchup against the University of Wisconsin at Milwaukee. The Golden Eagles come out of the nest hot, with senior forward Chloe Murata spearheading a 7-2 run with 5 points during that span.
And senior guard Claire Kafis shows no signs of rust, connecting on 2 3-point baskets within 2 minutes to help expand Marquette's lead by 10 by the end of the first quarter. The hot shooting carries over in the second quarter as the Golden Eagles shoot 60% from beyond the arc.
After outshooting Milwaukee 20-10 in the second quarter, the Golden Eagles walk into the locker room with a comfortable lead, 41-22. Kafis looks ready for the 3-point contest after going a perfect 3 from 3 from deep in the first half, while Murata looks like a clear threat down low with a near double-double.
And although Marquette saw some hot shooting at the beginning of the third quarter, both defenses lock in down the stretch.
But even after stalling Duffy's offense, Milwaukee has no gas left in the tank, and Marquette makes a lopsided 73-47 victory.
This marks Marquette's 33rd overall win against Milwaukee, with Marquette winning the last 26 of 29 matchups. And the Golden Eagles are back in action this weekend at the Battle for Atlantis in the Bahamas.
Murata ends the game with 19 points and 16 rebounds and secures her first double-double of the season.
Now, along with Murata, Carlin chips in 13 points, creating a reliable 1-2 punch down low.
About Claire, she's got the smarts and IQ to play the game really, really well, defensively, offensively. She's got a great shot, and she was confident today and knocked those down, and it was great for us, great start for us.
Kafis. After missing all of last year due to an ACL injury, Kafis is finally getting comfortable on the court, and her teammates are loving her progress.
I love playing with Liza. I think something that we do really well is our versatility. Being able to cut really well. Liza, you saw today, did a couple slips where I was able to hit her, or they doubled on Liza, and then I got to be wide open for those shots. So kind of bouncing off each other with that, we have that versatility to play with each other.
Although the game can get intense, Duffy and Marquette love the relationship they have built with the team just down the street.
We have a great relationship with Milwaukee and Kyle, their head coach, and if you've obviously been following our program, we've been doing some community service with both teams combined to help our youth, and we put on 2 clinics now, and in the summertime we can come together and be friends and help the people around us, and then easily we can turn the switch and compete against each other. So it's a unique relationship. Really appreciate their program and respect their program and what they're doing. And like I said, maybe not their best night tonight, but I think they're going to have a great season.
Now, although it should be me, the Golden Eagles are traveling to the Bahamas this weekend to take on the number 3 ranked Texas Longhorns, going up against a big team. Duffy will be turning to her bench to keep up, down, low.
Texas is a monster, if you know anything about them. 2 or 3 in the country, so we're going to need everybody trying to just weather their storm. And they full court press for 40 minutes, and it feels like there's 7 or 8 defenders on the floor. So we're going to get a little rest our legs, and then get to work on the Bahamas.
With that, we would now like to welcome in women's basketball beat reporter Kaylin Wright. Kaylin, it's so great to have you on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, well, the Golden Eagles are coming off 2 lopsided victories this weekend. What has stuck out to you about the Golden Eagles early this season?
Yeah, for me personally, I was really impressed with how they shared the ball this weekend. Great movement on the floor, and it was not just one person scoring. Eliza Carlin had a great 3 performances in these past 3 games, but players like Nia Clark and Claire Kafis and Mackenzie Hare really stepped up off the bench, and I was really impressed with the collective wins that they've collected in these past 3 games.
Well, one player that you didn't mention, my favorite player, Chloe Murata, posted a double-double against UWM with 19 points and 16 rebounds. How big of a factor was she in the Golden Eagles win?
Yeah, she had a huge performance. That double-double was really impressive from my angle I saw. And one thing I saw was her versatility on the court. The first points that she had for the team was a 3, and that's something that we haven't seen since last year. She can also attack those boards with the 16 rebounds that she got, and shares the ball really well, as she recorded 6 assists for her teammates on Sunday, and her aggressiveness was really important, and she actually shut down a big player for UWM, Megan Wallstad, left her with 0 points and 5 fouls.
Well, she is great and my favorite. But the chemistry is evolving between Carlin and Murata, and if they keep up this play, how can they become the best duo in the Big East?
Yeah, I definitely agree on that one. Both of them are doing great so far this season. They're both tall, big, huge forces in that paint, but most importantly, they're lethal from mid-range, and especially Liza from 3 and Chloe, as you saw on Sunday. And they're definitely going to be an unstoppable duo in the Big East. Both have scored in double figures in the past 3 games, and I'm excited to see what they're going to do this weekend.
Well, it's not just Kaylin and Murata. Duffy has been raving about the depth of this team so far this season. How big is that going to be this weekend in the Bahamas?
Yeah, it's definitely a huge factor, that depth that Coach Duffy has been talking about. They're going to play potentially 3 games in 3 days, so they're going to have a quick turnaround. They need everyone to step up. It's all hands on deck playing against these tough teams, and we'll see what happens in the Bahamas.
Well, obviously there is this huge game coming up against number 3 Texas, and the Golden Eagles are heavy underdogs coming up, so how are they going to pull off this upset?
Yeah, one thing for me is this energy, the energy that they came out with on Sunday against their rivals. They didn't do that in their first 2 games, but I think that's a big factor in defending Texas. They're going to pull out a full court press. That's something that Coach Duffy talked about, and I think that energy and aggressiveness is exactly what they need going to the Bahamas.
Well, thank you so much for your insight, but that is all the time that we have right now. Coming up in pro sports, are the Jazz really in a rebuild? Plus, are the Minnesota Vikings slowly becoming the best team in the NFL? We'll dive in right after the break.
Hey world, I have a quick message. It's about safe driving. All right, let's go. Anytime you're driving, have the seatbelt buckled tight. Both hands on the wheel and your phone out of sight. When not in your hand, trying to text somebody back. Because if you do, your car might get smacked. The moral of the story, just put your phone down. The people on the road will stay safe and sound. Put your phone down, put your phone down. People on the road will stay safe and sound. Yeah.
Roll over. When you adopt a shelter pet, you discover all the things that make them unique. And your mother. They're a little bit of a lot of things, but they're all pure love.
Every day,
millions of people are connecting. Father,
cosplayer,
mentor,
actor. It's time we take a step forward, come together,
and discover
how accepting our differences
can make us stronger.
And we're back in Studio 7 as we will discuss the Utah Jazz, the craziness in Week 10 of the NFL, and more. Joining me on the panel tonight is Jacob Flippins and Andrew Muzu. Welcome, guys. Let's get into it.
Let's do it.
Before the start of the season, the Utah Jazz traded away two of their best players, Rudy Gobert and Donovan Mitchell. Now, many fans assumed these moves would kickstart a rebuild within Utah's organization. But behind the leadership of some veterans, the Jazz are sitting at 10-5. So, do the Jazz really have what it takes to win, or is this kind of sounding a little bit like a fluke?
Well, okay, we've seen this before. We've seen teams that are like, okay, this team is going to be a joke. They might start out 10-5 like the Jazz, but it's an 82-game series season, and so just give it some time.
Right.
Just give it some time, because once they start seeing those Wembanyama highlights start continuously rolling in, I'm going to be like, okay, I think we need this guy. Right. I've seen Lauri Markkanen enough when he was in Chicago to know that, this might just end off pretty soon. So I wouldn't.
Absolutely.
Yeah, there's not too much to it.
Jacob?
I mean, I won't get my hopes too up, I mean, they're doing pretty well. I'm not going to lie. They're doing really, really well without Mitchell and Rudy. And it's kind of like shocking to me personally, because I always think they need Mitchell and Rudy. Because Rudy, I think he's the number one defensive player in the NBA, me personally.
Okay, that's debatable. But.
And Mitchell, I think he's top 5 shooting guard. Top 10, top 7 shooting guard in the league, me personally. And he's doing pretty well. He's doing He's doing great, fantastic with the Cavaliers.
Sure, yeah.
With Darius Garland dropping a 51.
Still lost, though.
But still, but it's still building. They doing great. I think everything right now, I think everybody's playing the role. I think everything's smooth. I think Jazz is going to do smooth. But going championship, they ain't championship ready yet.
I don't know why you're bringing up stats of a 51-point game when they still lost. I mean, you're a Lakers fan, so you're used to losing, especially this year.
Hold on. Didn't the Jazz lose to Joel Embiid?
Okay. I mean, yeah, that's fine.
Right. So how much your
Anyway, if the Jazz, gentlemen, if the Jazz do really make a push for the playoffs, do we dare say that Mitchell and Gobert were the problem all along?
They weren't the problem, because those two are some of the best players in the league, in the Western Conference especially. Just them together, their off the court matchups, the stuff that was going on was not the definition of a team, and so it really cost the team.
Sure.
But those two are some great players. They're obviously proving it in Cleveland and in Minnesota, but those two were not the player.
And not to mention, too, I think, especially towards last season and even the season before that, I think it became obvious that Gobert and Donovan Mitchell's chemistry kind of seemed to tank. Their personal relationship was affected, and I think that translated to some problems on the court as well. But what do you think, Jacob?
You gotta keep the bad habits out the locker room. All I can say is it was for the best. I think if they would have kept them there, Jazz would not succeed. They wouldn't succeed. And me personally, I've been saying this for the longest. Donovan Mitchell needed to leave anyway, because he needs a chip.
You are killing two birds in one stone.
A lot of people
he's playing like he deserves. He need an NBA championship.
Yeah, but it's only year 5, year 4. Yeah. Like he doesn't need it that bad. Derrick Rose needs one.
Al Horford needs one.
Yeah,
he's getting old on me.
He was close last year.
He was very close.
Didn't happen. But,
well, now that we're a month into the season, there are players who have been absolutely playing out of their minds so far. But what are you guys thinking in terms of MVP caliber stuff? I mean, who's on your list?
Man, let me go first. I got Giannis. I'm going to flat out say it. I got Giannis. Ain't nobody stopping Giannis. Athletic. You heard what he said. I'm athletic. I'm handsome. I'm humble. The only reason they kept me humble because I can't shoot. You heard what he said. I think he's the best NBA player right now. He didn't have to even play, and they still winning games. Dude showing up to his brother's games. Ain't nobody doing that.
Yeah, that's right.
He's playing at the highest level in his career right now. So 32 points a game, can't beat him, man. I got Giannis, 12 rebounds, and he can get triple-double on the easy night if he wants to.
I mean, you see, look at the other stats here. Luka Doncic, there's so much competition in the league right now, and a lot of them are the younger players, which means that we are moving into this newer era where the MVP conversation is not as easy as maybe it once was.
Used to be LeBron. Used to be Brian,
right? And so I'd have to agree with you. Giannis is definitely dominating. No Chris Middleton as well. Yeah. Remember that. And so they're still dominating. He's still putting up MVP numbers like it's nothing. They're just looking forward to the postseason at this point.
Well, and I don't know about you guys, but I was looking at my guy right in the middle. And I know I'm biased, but hear me out. Jason Tatum can do it all. Listen to me. Last night against the Thunder, that was a crazy game. A little closer than it.
Hold on, he went 1 for 10.
A little closer than it should have been. But here's my point. May I speak? Here's my point. He had a bad shooting night. But he can recognize that he's having a poor night, and he can get to the hoop, and he can play defense, and he has the ability to play offensively and at elite level in multiple different ways. And I just think when you have a guy like that, also leading a successful team, 11-3, we had a little weird start, but now we're back on track, especially with the coach, Ime Udoka stuff. I mean, this is a guy that has the ability to not only play defensively, but, this guy can get in his bag in multiple different ways, and just when you think you know how he's going to play, he kind of switches it up. So that's just I know it's early.
They're number 1 in the East, so
they're number 1 in the league right now. So
MVP.
Again, I know it's early, but
right.
Well, after a thrilling game in Buffalo, the Vikings stunned the Bills and have moved on to 8-1. Are the Vikings emerging as the best team in the NFL?
Well, as long as you have the Eagles in the league, and then the Bills, and then you have the Chiefs, they're not. They're definitely not. But they are a very gifted team, and I think Justin Jefferson is really leading the way here because he's really proven himself, and of course he's still towards considered a younger player, and so he's really taken the league by storm. We all saw that catch against the Bills, and so that was an amazing catch. But I think something else that's very interesting is that having a QB like Kirk Cousins, he's been inconsistent over his entire career. Some people are like, can he even win in the playoffs? Can he be a championship quarterback? His wide receivers and his team is making him look real pretty right now. And so they can make a deep run, but the Bills, Eagles, and Chiefs are still teams in the NFL.
I agree. I do ultimately think it will come down to what happens in the postseason. Jacob?
I think so, too. I agree with Andrew for the first time in my career. The Vikings, I feel like the only person that got is Jets, man. Without Jefferson, they would be basic. Cousins would be washed. I'm just going to be flat out honest. Bills and Chiefs, me personally, them two, AFC, I see them AFC championship.
Yeah,
I don't know. Ain't nobody messing with the Bills and Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen, I think Patrick's throwing 2,900 yards this season, and Josh Allen threw 2,700, I think. And not to mention, Josh Allen is the leader in rushing yards for the Bills.
Right.
And that's crazy because Singletary.
That is wild.
Yeah, Singletary they get his stuff together. But that's wild, and he's doing it. The man's a runner. I'm not gonna say what.
He's not a runner like Justin Fields.
He's better than Justin Fields.
Well, if we're talking about running,
he's getting up through. He's getting up through.
Well, Justin Fields does have the most running yards by QB, so I don't know what you're talking about.
You didn't see him against the Vikings?
I saw Justin Fields the past 3 games.
Gentlemen, this is all the time we have for tonight. But thanks so much for joining us and a great discussion. We will